Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today to share a profound truth, a secret that has the power to transform your entire existence. The topic of our discussion is don't react, cut them off silently. And I assure you this principle holds within it the very essence of creation itself. Now, you might be wondering, what does it mean to cut them off silently? Who are they? And why should we not react? My dear friends, they're not external entities or individuals, but rather the old states of consciousness that no longer serve your higher self. The reactive patterns, the habitual thoughts, the limiting beliefs, these are what we must cut off, and we must do so silently, within the sanctum of our own imagination. You see, the world you experience is nothing more than an outpicturing of your consciousness. Every person, every circumstance, every event in your life is a reflection of your inner state. When you react to these external manifestations, you are giving power to the very state you wish to transcend. You are, in essence, watering the seeds of what you do not want to grow. But when you cut them off silently, when you refuse to engage with these old patterns, you are withdrawing your attention and thus your creative power from them. Remember, attention is the currency of your mind. Where you place your attention, there flows the energy of creation. Let me illustrate this with a simple example. Imagine you are in a situation that would typically provoke a reaction of anger or frustration. Perhaps someone has criticized you unfairly, or you've faced an unexpected setback. The old you might have lashed out, defended yourself vehemently, or fallen into despair. But the new you, the you that understands the power of imagination, does something entirely different. Instead of reacting, you paused. You recognize that this external event is merely shadow, a reflection of an old state of consciousness. And in that moment of recognition, you make a choice. You choose to cut off that old state silently. You turn your attention away from the seeming reality of the external world and towards the only true reality, the reality of your imagination. In your imagination, you see yourself as you wish to be. Calm, confident, unaffected by external circumstances. You feel the naturalness of this state. And as you dwell in this new state, as you make it alive within you, you are literally transforming your world from the inside out. This, my friends, is the true meaning of don't react. Cut them off silently. It is not a passive act of suppression, but rather an active, creative process of choosing a new state of being. It is the art of conscious assumption, the practice of embodying the state of the wish fulfilled. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, isn't this just ignoring reality? Isn't it irresponsible to not react to the challenges and problems in our lives? And to this, I say, what you call reality is nothing more than fruit of past assumptions. It is the harvest of seeds planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. When you react to it, you are simply planting more seeds of the same kind. But when you cut off these reactions silently, when you shift your attention to the desired state, you are planting new seeds. You are choosing a new assumption and thus creating a new reality. This is not irresponsible. It is the highest responsibility you can take. For you are the operant power in your world. And by consciously choosing your state of being, you are consciously creating your world. Let us delve deeper into this principle. When I say don't react, I am not advocating for a life of inaction or passivity. Far from it. I'm calling you to the most profound action possible. The action of consciously assuming the state of your wish fulfilled. This action takes place not in the outer world, but in the inner world of your imagination. You see, most people live their lives backwards. They look to the outside world for causes, for reasons to feel or behave in certain ways. They're constantly reacting to what they perceive as external stimuli. But the truth, the great secret of life, is that the outer world is not the cause, but the effect. Your consciousness is the only cause there is. When you truly understand this, when you internalize this truth, you will see the folly of reacting to external circumstances. It's like arguing with your own shadow. Instead, you will learn to direct your attention, your consciousness towards the state you wish to embody. And as you dwell in this state, as you make it alive within you, the outer world has no choice. This is what it means to cut them off silently. You are severing the connection between external stimuli and your internal state. You are reclaiming your power as the creator of your reality. And you do this not through force or struggle, but silently in the quiet of your own imagination. Imagine for a moment that you are an actor on a stage. The circumstances of your life are the script you've been given. Now, most people feel bound by this script. They react to every line, every stage direction, believing they have no choice. But you, my dear friends, you understand the power of imagination. You know better. You know that you can step off that stage at any moment. You can walk into the wings, into the dressing room of your imagination, and put on a new costume. You can assume a new role, a new state of being. And when you return to the stage, fully embodying this new state, the entire play changes around you. This is the magic, the miracle of consciousness. This is the power you hold within you. And it all begins with that simple yet profound choice. Don't react. Cut them off silently. Now let's explore how this principle applies in your daily life. Perhaps you're in a job that no longer satisfies you. The old you might have reacted with frustration, complaining about your circumstances, feeling trapped and powerless. But the you that understands the power of imagination, instead of reacting to the unwanted circumstances, you cut them off silently. You withdraw your attention from the current job and all its associated frustrations. Instead, you turn your attention to the job you desire. In your imagination, you see yourself in that new position. You feel the satisfaction of doing work you love. You experience the joy of using your talents fully. Here's the crucial part. You dwell in this state. You make it so alive, so real in your imagination that it feels more present, more tangible than your current circumstances. You live from this new assumption, this new state of being. What happens next might seem like magic to those who don't understand the law of consciousness. Opportunities begin to appear. The right people come into your life. Circumstances align in ways you couldn't have planned. And before long, you find yourself in that very job you imagined, wondering how it all happened so seamlessly. But you know that it was your choice to not react, to cut off the old state silently, and to assume the new state that created this new reality. You have witnessed firsthand the creative power of your consciousness. Let's take another example. Perhaps you're in a relationship that's filled with conflict. The old you might have reacted to every perceived slight, every disagreement. You might have engaged in arguments trying to prove your point or change the other person. But the new you, the you that understands the power of imagination, chooses a different path. Instead of reacting to the conflict, you cut it off silently. You withdraw your attention from the problems, the disagreements, the tensions. Instead, you turn your attention to the relationship you desire. In your imagination, you see yourself in a harmonious, loving relationship. You feel the warmth of mutual understanding, the joy of deep connection. Again, you dwell in this state. You make it so real in your imagination that it becomes more vivid, more present in the current circumstances. You live from this new assumption, this new state of being. And once again, what follows might seem miraculous. The dynamics of the relationship begin to shift. Your partner seems to change, becoming more understanding, more loving. The conflicts that once seemed insurmountable begin to dissolve. And you find yourself in the very relationship. You imagine marveling at the transformation. But you understand. You know that it wasn't your partner who changed, but you. By choosing not to react, by cutting off the old state silently, and by assuming the new state, you transformed your world from within. This, my dear friends, is the power you hold within you. This is the creative force of your consciousness. And it is available to you in every moment, in every area of your life. Now, some of you might be wondering, but Neville, what about when things go wrong? What about when we face real challenges or tragedies? And to this I say, they're not real tragedies, not real challenges outside of your assumption of them as such. What you perceive as a tragedy or a challenge is simply an opportunity to exercise your power, of assumption when faced with what appears to be a difficult situation. Remember, don't react, cut them off silently. Don't give power to the appearance by reacting to it. Instead, withdraw your attention from the seeming problem. Turn within to your imagination and assume the state of the solution already realized. If you're facing financial difficulties, don't react with fear or worry. Cut off those states silently. Instead, assume the state of financial abundance. Feel the relief, the security, the freedom that comes with financial well-being. Make this state so real in your imagination that it supersedes the current appearance of lack. If you're dealing with health issues, don't react with anxiety or despair. Cut off those states silently. Instead, assume the state of perfect health. Feel the vitality coursing through your body. Experience the joy of vibrant wealth. Dwell in this state until it becomes more real to you than any physical symptom. Remember, the outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner assumptions. By refusing to react to its appearances and instead consciously choosing your state of being, you are exercising your divine creative power. You are fulfilling your role as the operant power in your universe. Now, I want to address a common misconception. When I say don't react, cut them off silently, I'm not advocating for a life of emotional suppression or denial. This principle is not about ignoring your feelings or pretending that challenges don't exist. Rather, it's about recognizing the true source of your feelings and experiences and consciously choosing the state from which you wish to operate. You see, your emotions are not caused by external circumstances. They are the result of your state of consciousness, your assumptions about reality. When you react emotionally to external events, you are unconsciously accepting those events as causes of your internal state. But when you understand that your consciousness is the only cause, you liberate yourself from this reactive pattern. Instead of reacting, you observe. You witness your emotions without identifying with them. And in that space of awareness, you make a choice. You choose the state you wish to embody, regardless of external appearances. This is what it means to cut them off silently. You are severing the assumed connection between external events and your internal state. This practice requires vigilance and persistence. The habits of reaction are deeply ingrained, reinforced by years of unconscious living. But with consistent practice, you will find yourself naturally assuming the state of your wish fulfilled, regardless of external circumstances. Imagine for a moment that you are standing before a mirror. The reflection you see is your current life circumstances. Now, if you don't like what you see, what do? You argue with the reflection. Do you try to change it directly? Of course not. You understand that to change the reflection, you must change yourself. This is precisely how you should approach your life. Your external world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. When you don't like what you see, don't react to it. Don't try to change it directly. Instead, turn within. Change your assumption, your state of being. And watch as the reflection, your outer world, changes to match your new inner state. This, my friends, is the art of living creatively. It is the practice of conscious manifestation. And it all begins with that simple yet profound choice. Don't react, cut them off silently. Now let's discuss how to implement this principle in your daily life. The key is to cultivate a state of awareness, a witnessing consciousness that observes your thoughts, feelings, and reactions without getting caught up in them. This awareness creates a space, a pause between stimulus and response, and in that space lies your power to choose. When you notice yourself beginning to react to a person or situation, pause. Take a deep breath. Remember that what you're seeing is not the cause of your reaction, but the effect of your past assumptions. In that moment of recognition, you have the power to cut off the old state silently. How do you do this? By turning your attention away from the external situation and towards your desired state of being. Ask yourself, how would I feel if my desire were already fulfilled? What would my inner state be if I were already the person I wish to be? Then Using the power of your imagination, step into that state. Feel it. Experience it as vividly as you can. Make it more real to you than the current circumstances. This is not mere visualization or positive thinking. This is the active assumption of the state of your wish fulfilled. As you practice this, you'll find that your reactions to external events begin to change naturally. What once provoked anger or fear now passes by without affecting your inner state. You become less reactive and more creative, less a victim of circumstances, and more the conscious author of your life. Remember, the outer world has no power over you, except the power you give it through your attention and assumption. When you withdraw your attention from unwanted circumstances and place it firmly on your desired state, you are literally shifting the foundations of your reality. This practice may seem challenging, but first, especially when faced with deeply ingrained patterns or particularly difficult circumstances, remember that every time you choose not to react, every time you cut off an old state silently and assume a new one, you are exercising your creative power. You are reshaping your world from within. Consider for a moment the immense implications of this principle. If your consciousness is the only cause, if your assumptions create your reality, then there are truly no limitations to what you can be, do, or have. The only constraints are those you accept in your own mind. When you fully embrace this truth, when you consistently practice the art of not reacting and consciously assuming your desired state, you step into your true power as a creative being. You become the conscious author of your life story. No longer a passive reader reacting to every plot twist, but the writer, director, and star of your own magnificent production. Imagine living from this state of empowerment. Imagine moving through your days with the unshakable knowing that you are the creator of your reality. How would you approach challenges? How would you interact with others? How would you pursue your dreams and aspirations? You would no longer be swayed by external circumstances. You would no longer be at the mercy of other people's opinions or actions. You would stand firm in your own creative power, consistently choosing the state from which you wish to operate, regardless of appearances. This, my dear friends, is true freedom. It is the liberation that comes from recognizing and embracing your divine nature as a creative being. And it all begins with that simple yet profound choice. Don't react. Cut them off silently. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to emphasize a crucial point. The principle we've explored today, don't react, cut them off silently, is not merely a technique for achieving your desires or improving your life circumstances. While it certainly leads to these outcomes, its true significance is far greater. This principle is nothing less than the key to awakening to your true nature. It is the path to realizing your oneness with the creative power of the universe. For when you consistently practice not reacting to external stimuli, and instead consciously choosing your state of being, you are aligning yourself with the fundamental creative principle of existence. You see, in the ultimate reality, there is no separation between you and the creative power you call God. Your consciousness, your I am, is that very power individualized as you. When you react to external circumstances, you are temporarily forgetting this truth. You are seeing yourself as separate from the creative power, as a victim of external forces. But when you cut off these reactions silently, when you consciously choose your state of being regardless of appearances, you are acknowledging and embodying your true nature as the operant power in your world. You are saying, in essence, I am the creator of my reality. This is why this principle is so transformative. It's not just about getting what you want in life, although that certainly happens. It's about awakening to who you truly are. It's about stepping into your divine inheritance as a creative being. As you practice this principle, as you consistently choose not to react, but to assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself undergoing a profound transformation. You will begin to see the world differently. You will recognize the creative power of your consciousness at work in every aspect of your life. You will see that every person, every circumstance, every event in your life is a reflection of your own consciousness. And with this recognition comes an immense sense of freedom and empowerment. For if your consciousness creates your reality, then by changing your consciousness, you can change your entire world. This, my friends, is the promise and the challenge that lies before you. The promise of limitless creative power, of the ability to shape your reality according to your highest vision, and the challenge of consistently remembering and embodying this truth, of refusing to be swayed by appearances and instead standing firm in the knowledge of your creative power. As you leave here today, I urge you to take this principle into your daily life. Practice it diligently. When you find yourself beginning to react to a person or situation, pause. Remember that what you're seeing is not the cause, but the effect of your consciousness. In the depths of your consciousness lies a power so magnificent, so absolute, that once you truly grasp it and apply it correctly, you will never again find yourself struggling against the current of life. Rather, you will move through existence as naturally as a fish moves through water, as effortlessly as a bird soars through the sky. The first principle you must understand is this: the outer world is nothing more than a reflection, a shadow, a projection of your inner world. As within, so without is not merely a philosophical concept, but an absolute law of being. What you hold in consciousness with feeling and conviction must objectify itself in your world. It cannot do otherwise, for that is the law of your being. Now, why must you do this without telling anyone? Let me explain this critical point. When you speak of your desires, your intentions, your wishes to others before they have been realized in your consciousness as accomplished facts, you dissipate the energy required for their manifestation. You release the pressure, so to speak, that would otherwise build and propel your desire into expression. Remember the words from Scripture, "Go and tell no man." This is not merely ethical advice, it is a profound metaphysical instruction. The creative power within you works most effectively in silence in the secret place of the Most High, which is your own wonderful human imagination. Let us delve deeper into the nature of this principle, the power of silence. Most people, upon conceiving a desire or setting a goal, immediately broadcast it to the world. They tell their friends, their family, their colleagues, and in doing so they experience a momentary satisfaction, a false sense of accomplishment. They receive acknowledgement, perhaps even praise or encouragement, and this premature recognition tricks the subconscious mind into believing that the thing is already done, that the desire has already been fulfilled. But what has really happened? Nothing has changed in their world. The desire remains unfulfilled. The goal remains unachieved. All that has occurred is a dissipation of the creative energy that would have, if properly directed and contained, brought the desire into manifestation. When you tell others of your intentions, you also expose your nascent creation to the doubts, criticisms, and limiting beliefs of others. Your desire, still fragile in its conceptual state, may not withstand the onslaught of collective disbelief. It may wither and die before it has had the chance to take root in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Consider the wisdom in the story of Mary, who kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. She did not rush to announce the miraculous conception, but held it sacred within her consciousness until it was ready to be born into the world. So I say to you, hold your desires sacred. Nurture them in the silence of your consciousness. Tell no one until they have been realized in your world. This is the first step in allowing doors to open without effort. The art of assumption. Now, what is it that you must do in silence without telling anyone? You must assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when circumstances improve or when others approve, but now. The secret is to identify the feeling that would be yours if your desire were already realized, and then to assume that feeling so completely that it displaces your present state. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful fantasizing. This is a deliberate, conscious shift in your state of being. If you desire wealth, you must assume the feeling of wealth now. How would you feel if you were financially abundant? What would your inner conversations be like? How would you walk, talk, and interact with others? Assume these feelings and behaviors now, not as a pretense,
but as an acknowledgement of a truth that exists in a dimension not yet visible to your physical senses. If you desire a loving relationship, you must assume the feeling of being loved now. Feel the warmth, the security, the joy that would be yours if your desire were already fulfilled. Let this feeling permeate your consciousness until it becomes your predominant state. If you desire health, assume the feeling of vitality and well-being now. Feel the energy coursing through your body, the effortless movement, the absence of pain or limitation. Live from this state and watch as your physical condition aligns with your inner assumption. Remember, what you are seeking is also seeking you. The moment you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, a series of events is set in motion that will bring about the realization of your desire. Doors will open that you did not know existed. Opportunities will present themselves that you could not have anticipated. People will enter your life bearing gifts that precisely match your inner state. And all this will occur without effort, without struggle, without the need for you to manipulate external circumstances. For when you change your inner state, the outer world must change to reflect it. This is law, the renunciation of effort. We come now to a paradox that confounds the logical mind, but is perfectly clear to the awakened consciousness, the renunciation of effort, the pathway to effortless achievement. Most people believe that success requires struggle, that achievement demands sacrifice, that goals must be pursued with relentless determination. They push, they strive, they force, they manipulate. And in doing so, they create resistance both within themselves and in their external circumstance. But I tell you this, true achievement, lasting success, genuine fulfillment comes not through effort, but through alignment. When you align your consciousness with the state of having already achieved your desire, the path to its physical manifestation clears before you. The doors that seemed locked and barred swing open of their own accord. The mountains that loomed insurmountable simply vanish from your path. This is not laziness or passivity. It is the highest form of action, action from the state of being rather than from the state of wanting. When you act from the conviction that your desire is already fulfilled, your actions are inspired, effortless, and precisely calibrated to bring about the results you seek. Consider how effortlessly you perform the actions associated with states you have fully assumed. If you know yourself to be literate, you do not agonize over whether you can read the words on a page. You simply read them. If you know yourself to be a skilled driver, you do not doubt your ability to navigate the roads. You simply drive. The actions flow naturally from your state of being. So it is with all things. When you fully assume the state of having what you desire, the actions required for its manifestation flow naturally and effortlessly from you. You find yourself saying the right words, making the right choices, taking the right steps, not through calculated effort, but through the natural expression of your assumed state. The living in the end. Now let me share with you the practical technique that will enable you to apply this principle effectively in your life. I call it living in the end. To live in the end means to occupy in the imagination the state of your wish fulfilled, and to dwell there as though it were your present reality. It means to view the world not from where you are now, but from where you desire to be. Each night as you lay your head upon your pillow and enter the state akin to sleep, construct a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid as possible. See the colors, hear the sounds, feel the textures. Involve all your senses in this imaginative act. If your desire is for a promotion at work, you might imagine a colleague congratulating you on your new position. Feel the handshake, hear the words of congratulation, see the smile on their face. Feel the satisfaction and accomplishment that would be yours in that moment. If your desire is for a harmonious relationship, imagine a scene where you and your beloved are together in perfect understanding and joy. Feel the love between you, the mutual respect, the deep connection. Hear the words that would be spoken in such a moment of harmony. If your desire is for physical health, imagine a scene where you are engaged in an activity that your current condition prevents. Feel the ease of movement, the vitality, the absolute freedom from limitation or discomfort. As you fall asleep, immersed in this scene, you impress it upon your subconscious mind, which accepts it as reality and begins to work ceaselessly to bring it into physical expression. For your subconscious does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you experience in the external world. To it, the two are identical. Practice this technique night after night, and you will begin to notice subtle changes in your waking experience. It may begin with a change in your own attitudes and perceptions. You may find yourself responding differently to familiar situations. You may notice new ideas occurring to you, new impulses guiding your actions. Eventually, these inner changes will externalize themselves in the form of new circumstances, new relationships, new opportunities that align with your imagined state. And all of this will occur without strain, without struggle, without anxious concern on your part. It will feel as natural as the changing of seasons, as effortless as the rising of the sun. But remember, tell no one of what you are doing. Keep this practice sacred and secret. For in silence, your imaginative power grows. In privacy, your assumption gathers strength. In the absence of external validation or criticism, your imagined state takes root in the depths of your being and begins to grow into tangible reality. The abandonment of the old. For this process to work most effectively, you must be willing to abandon your old concept of self, your old way of relating to the world. You cannot cling to your current identity while simultaneously trying to assume a new state of being. The two are incompatible. If you have known yourself as lacking, as struggling, as unworthy, these concepts must be released to make way for your new assumption. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot stand with one foot in your present state and the other in your desired state. You must make a complete commitment to the state you wish to embody. This requires courage. It requires faith. It requires a willingness to die to your old self, that your new self might be born. For make no mistake, this is a form of death and rebirth, the only death and rebirth that truly matters in your journey through your this world. The scripture says, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. Your old concept of self must die, must be completely abandoned, that your new concept might bear fruit in your experience. How do you abandon the old self? By withdrawing your attention from it, by refusing to identify with its limitations, its fears, its sense of lack, by redirecting your attention completely and persistently to your new concept of self until the old concept atrophies from disuse and falls away naturally. This is not denial or repression. It is transformation through the redirection of consciousness. It is the highest form of psychological and spiritual alchemy, the transmutation of lead into gold, of limitation into freedom, of separateness into unity, the persistence in assumption. Now, I must caution you, this process is not necessarily instantaneous. While some desires manifest quickly, others require a longer gestation period. The time it takes for your assumption to externalize itself depends on many factors, including the naturalness of your desire relative to your current state, the intensity of your assumption, and the degree to which you remain faithful to your new concept of self. What is required above all is persistence in your assumption. You must continue to live from the end to occupy your imagined state, regardless of appearances. You must not be discouraged or dissuaded by the evidence of your senses, which may for a time continue to reflect your previous state rather than your new assumption. Remember, the physical world is a shadow, a delayed reflection of your consciousness. It will catch up to your new state, but it may do so gradually in its own time and in its own way. Your part is simply to maintain your assumption, to continue living from the end with absolute faith that what you have assumed in consciousness must objectify self in your world. This persistence is not a form of effort or struggle. It is not about forcing yourself to believe what your senses deny. It is simply a matter of choosing moment by moment which reality you will occupy in consciousness, the reality of your former state or the reality of your wish fulfilled. When doubts arise, as they inevitably will, do not fight them. Simply observe them without judgment and then gently return your attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. When circumstances seem to contradict your assumption, acknowledge them without allowing them to dislodge you from your chosen state. Say to yourself, this may be the case in the shadow world of physical appearances, but in the reality of my consciousness, my desire is already fulfilled. In time, with persistence, your assumption will harden into fact. What you have consciously assumed, you will objectively experience. And you will recognize that it was not your anxious striving, but your faithful assumption that brought your desire to fruition. The inner conversations. Pay particular attention to your inner conversations, for they are perhaps the most potent form of assumption. The words you speak to yourself in the privacy of your mind shape your reality more powerfully than any external action you might take. If you truly wish to assume a new state of being, you must revise your inner dialogue to reflect that state. If, for example, you wish to embody financial abundance, your inner conversations must be those of a financially abundant person, not those of someone struggling with lack or limitation. Listen to the words you speak silently to yourself throughout the day. Are they consistent with your desired state? Or do they betray a continued identification with the state you wish to transcend? If you find that your inner conversations contradict your conscious intention, do not become discouraged. Simply revise them. Construct new inner dialogues that imply the fulfillment of your desire, and rehearse them until they become your habitual way of thinking. For instance, instead of saying to yourself, I can't afford this, say, I am so grateful that I can easily afford everything I desire. Instead of telling yourself, this situation is impossible, say, I am so grateful that this situation has been resolved harmoniously. Instead of thinking, I am always overlooked for promotion, think, I am so appreciated for my contributions, and I am naturally advancing in my career. Make these new inner conversations your constant companions, and you will be amazed at how quickly your external circumstances begin to align with them. For your inner conversations are not merely reactions to your circumstances, they are the very creators of those circumstances. The gratitude in advance. Another powerful practice that will accelerate the manifestation of your desires is gratitude, not gratitude for what you have already received, but gratitude for what you have claimed in consciousness but is not yet visible to your physical senses. When you give thanks in advance for the fulfillment of your desire, you affirm your firm in the creative process. You acknowledge that the thing is already yours in consciousness, and you express appreciation for its inevitable externalization in your physical experience. This form of gratitude is not a manipulative technique to cajole the universe into giving you what you want. It is a genuine expression of your understanding of the law of consciousness. You are grateful not because you hope to receive, but because you know that in consciousness you have already received. Begin and end each day with this expression of gratitude. Say to yourself with deep feeling, thank you, Father, that this already done. Feel the reality of your desire as a present fact, and give thanks for it just as you would for something that is already manifest in your world. This practice of gratitude aligns you more fully with the state of having already received, and it accelerates the bridge of incidents that leads to the physical realization of your desire. It is a declaration of your faith in the law and your acceptance of the gift you have given yourself through the power of your consciousness. The revision of the past. Now there is another aspect of this practice that is often overlooked but is enormously powerful. The revision of the past. Your present circumstances are the result of your past thoughts, feelings, and assumptions. But just as you can change your future by changing your present consciousness, you can also change the effects of your past by revising your memory of it. If your past contains experiences of failure, rejection, or disappointment that still affect your self-concept, and therefore your present circumstances, you can revise those experiences in imagination. You can rewrite the script, so to speak, creating new memories that align with your desired state of being. For example, if you're passed over a promotion in the past, and this experience still affects your confidence and your expectations regarding your career, you can revise it. In your imagination, go back to that moment and experience it differently. See yourself receiving the promotion, hear the words of congratulation, feel the satisfaction and validation. If you experience the end of a relationship that left you feeling unlovable or unworthy, revise it. In your imagination, experience a harmonious resolution, a mutual recognition that allows both parties to move forward with respect and goodwill. As you practice this technique of revision, you will find that the emotional charge associated with painful past events begins to dissolve. The past no longer determines your present state of consciousness, and therefore it loses its power to shape your future experiences. Remember, time is a construct of consciousness. The only reality is the eternal now, the present moment, in which all possibilities exist simultaneously. By revising the past in imagination, you are not denying what occurred in the world of shadows. You are exercising your divine prerogative to choose which version of reality you will accept as definitive. The recognition of unity. As you practice these principles, you will begin to recognize a profound truth that underlies all of creation, the unity of being. You will come to understand that there is no separation between you and the source of all that is, no distance between your consciousness and the creative power that shapes worlds. The Bible tells us, I and my Father are one. This is not a poetic metaphor, but a statement of absolute metaphysical fact. The I am that speaks through you, that identifies itself as your consciousness, is the same I am that created the universe and sustains it moment by moment. When you say I am, you are invoking the name of God, the creative power of the universe. And whatever you attach to that divine name, whatever state you identify, with after the sacred words I am becomes your reality, your experience, your world. This is why assumption is so powerful. When you assume a state, you are literally claiming it as your divine identity. You are saying, I am this, and the universe, which is nothing more than the externalization of consciousness, must conform to that declaration. As you come to understand this truth, not intellectually, but experientially, through the practice of these principles, you will be liberated from fear, from doubt, from the belief in limitation. You will recognize that all things are possible to you because all things are possible to the I am that you are. And in this recognition of unity, you will find the ultimate freedom. You will know that there is no power outside of you that can constrain or limit you. No authority beyond your own consciousness that determines your fate. You are the author of your experience, the creator of your reality, the architect of your destiny, the fulfillment of purpose. Why have you been given this creative power? What is its purpose? Simply this, the expansion of awareness, the evolution of consciousness, the eternal journey of the infinite becoming more of itself through the vehicle of your unique expression. You are here to fulfill a purpose that only you can fulfill, to manifest a possibility that only you can manifest, to embody an aspect of the infinite that can be expressed in just the way that you express it. This is your gift to the universe, your contribution to the ongoing creation. And as you align your individual consciousness with the universal consciousness, as you assume states that reflect the highest and best that you can conceive, you fulfill this purpose. You become a clear channel through which the infinite can express its boundless nature in five form. This is the ultimate meaning of the scriptural injunction to be perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. It is a call not to flawless moral behavior as conventionally understood, but to the assumption of your divine identity, to the recognition and expression of your true nature as a vessel of infinite creative consciousness. In this assumption of your divine identity, all doors open before you without effort. The universe conspires to support your expression. The entire field of creation aligns itself with your assumed state. And you move through life not as a supplicant begging for scraps from the table of existence, but as the rightful heir to all that is, claiming your inheritance with quiet confidence and serene faith. The application in daily life. How then do you apply these principles in your daily life? How do you translate this metaphysical understanding into practical results? Let me offer some specific guidance. First, identify what you truly desire. Not what you think you should desire. Not what others expect you to desire. But what resonates with the deepest part of your being. What state of consciousness would give you the greatest joy, the most profound satisfaction, the deepest sense of fulfillment. Next, formulate a scene that implies the fulfillment of this desire. Make it short, specific, and symbolic of the state you wish to embody. It might be a congratulatory handshake, a glimpse of a bank statement, the feel of a wedding ring on your finger, the sound of applause after a presentation, or any other sensory experience that implies your wish is already fulfilled. Then, each night as you fall asleep and each morning as you wake, enter a state of relaxed state between waking and sleeping, where your conscious mind is receptive and your subconscious mind is accessible. In this state, enact your chosen scene. Experience it as vividly as possible, involving all your senses and imbuing it with genuine emotion. Throughout your day, whenever you think of your desire, remind yourself that it is already yours in consciousness. Feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled just for a moment. Then go about your business without anxiety or impatience. If doubts arise, acknowledge them without resistance. Then gently return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you interact with others, do not speak of your desire as something you hope for, wish for, or are working toward. Either speak of it as something that is already accomplished, or do not speak of it at all. Remember, go and tell no man. Pay attention to the signs that your new state is beginning to externalize itself, the subtle changes in your own attitudes, the synchronicities that appear in your experience, the new opportunities that present themselves. Acknowledge these signs with gratitude, recognizing them as confirmation of the inner shift you have achieved. Above all, maintain your faith in the law of consciousness. Trust that what you have assumed must objectify itself in your world, not through your anxious effort, but through the impersonal operation of cosmic law. Rest in the assurance that as you have planted in consciousness, so shall you reap in experience. The promise fulfilled. I have shared with you tonight the secret of secrets, the principle that underlies all manifestation, the law that governs all creation. I have given you a technique so simple yet so profound that, if faithfully applied, it cannot fail to transform your life in ways you may not yet have imagined. Do this without telling anyone, and watch how doors open without effort. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Persist in that assumption despite all evidence to the contrary, and you will discover for yourself the truth of the promise. All things are possible to him that believeth. The power I speak of is not external to you. It is not a force you must supplicate or appease. It is your own wonderful human imagination, your own consciousness, your own I amness. It is the creative power of the universe individualized in you, waiting to be directed by your assumption. Use this power wisely, lovingly, joyfully. Use it to lift yourself from limitation to freedom, from separation to unity, from fear to love. Use it not merely to acquire things or circumstances, but to express the highest and best that you can conceive, to contribute to the welfare and awakening of all beings, to participate consciously in the eternal creative process that is the purpose and meaning of existence. Remember always that what you seek is also seeking you, that what you desire desires expression through you, that what you wish to manifest wishes to be manifested by you. There is no opposition in the universe, no resistance to your good, no denial of your rightful inheritance as a divine being in human form. The only barriers to the fulfillment of your desires are the limitations you have accepted in consciousness. Remove these barriers by assuming the state of consciousness that would be yours if your desire were already fulfilled. And watch as the outer world reshapes itself to match your inner state. This is the promise. This is the law. This is the truth that sets you free. Thank you for your attention tonight. May you go forth and apply these principles with faith, with love, with the serene confidence that comes from knowing who you truly are. May all that you desire be manifested in your experience, not through anxious striving, but through the effortless unfolding that follows right assumption. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. You are the maker of your destiny, the creator of your reality, the author of your experience. Recognize this truth, embrace this power, fulfill this promise. And now, before we close, I invite you to take a moment to enter the silence of your own being. Close your eyes if you wish, turn your attention inward, and feel the reality of who you truly are, not a limited human personality struggling against the world, but an infinite creative consciousness expressing itself in human form. Feel the power within you, the same power that created worlds, that sustains galaxies, that brings forth life in all its forms. Feel it not as something separate from you, but as the very essence of your being, the I am that constitutes your fundamental identity. From this awareness, claim your good. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Know that as you plant this seed in the fertile soil of your consciousness, it must grow and bear fruit in your experience. It cannot do otherwise, for such is the law of your being. Rest in this knowledge, abide in this faith, live from this assumption, and watch as doors open before you without effort, as mountains are removed from your path without struggle, as the universe itself conspires to bring into visible form the state you have claimed on consciousness. This is the promise. This is the law. This is the truth. Go now in the awareness of your own divinity, in the recognition of your own creative power, in the assurance of your own inevitable good. For you are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. You are the embodiment of the infinite in finite form. And all things, all states, all circumstances, all experiences are yours by right of consciousness. Assume your rightful place as the creator of your reality and watch as your world transforms itself to reflect the glory of your true being. This is the secret of secrets, the truth behind all truths, the reality within all realities. Do this without telling anyone, and watch how doors open without effort. Imagine, if you will, that your imagination is not just a fleeting fancy, but the very workshop of God. Yes, you heard me correctly. Your imagination, that inner world of thoughts and images, is the creative power of the universe itself, individualized in you. This is not hyperbole, my friends, but the fundamental truth of existence. In the next hour, you have the power to completely revolutionize your life. How, you may ask? By understanding and applying the law of assumption. This law states that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner assumptions. What you believe to be true, what you accept as real in your imagination, must and will manifest in your physical reality. Now let us delve deeper into this concept. Your conscious mind may rebel against this idea, citing past experiences, current circumstances, or logical arguments as to why this cannot be true. But I tell you with absolute certainty that your subconscious mind knows no limits. It does not argue, it does not question, it simply accepts and manifests. Think of your desire, that which you wish to experience in your life. It matters not whether it is wealth, love, health, or success. Whatever it may be, know this, it already exists in the infinite realm of possibility. Your task in this crucial hour is to bring it into your experience through the power of assumption. But how does one assume? It is simpler than you might think. Yet it requires a shift in consciousness that many find challenging at first. To assume a state, you must think from it, not of it. Let me explain the distinction, for it is vital to your success. When you think of a desire, you acknowledge its absence in your life. You see it as something separate from you, something to be attained. But when you think from a desire fulfilled, you embody the state of its realization. You live, move, and have your being as if it were already a fact in your world. Consider a man who desires financial abundance. If he thinks of wealth, he may say to himself, I want to be rich. I need more money. In doing so, he affirms his current state of lack. But if he thinks that, he embodies the consciousness of a wealthy individual. He feels the satisfaction, the security, the freedom that wealth brings. He does not wish for it. He knows it as his current reality. This, my dear friends, is the crux of the matter. In the next hour, I challenge you to assume the state of your desire fulfilled. Feel it, live it, breathe it, as if it were already yours. For in truth it is in the realm of imagination, which is the very substance of reality. Now some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can I feel something that isn't yet true? And to this I say, your physical senses show you only a shadow of reality. The true substance of things is not in their physical form, but in the consciousness that gives rise to them. Remember the words of Scripture. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your faith, your assumption, is the very substance of your desire. It is the evidence that precedes physical manifestation. In this next hour, I urge you to tune into the silence of your own being. Close your eyes to the world of shadows and open your inner eye to the reality of your imagination. See yourself as you wish to be. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment of your desire realized. Do not concern yourself with the how or the when. These belong to the realm of manifestation, which follows the law unfailingly. Your part is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to live in the end as if it were already accomplished. Let me share with you a technique that you can use in this transformative hour. It is called the pruning shears of revision. Just as a gardener prunes a tree to promote healthy growth, you can revise your day, your week, or even your entire life to align with your desired reality. Here's how it works. Before you sleep tonight, review the events of your day. But instead of accepting them as they appear to your physical senses, revise them in your imagination to match your desire. If you had an unpleasant interaction, reimagine it as harmonious. If you faced a financial setback, see it as an unexpected windfall. This is not denial or escapism. It is the highest form of creativity, for you are literally rewriting the script of your life. Remember, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the physical world. As you engage in this practice, you may find that doubts arise. Your rational mind may interject with reasons why your desire cannot be fulfilled. Do not fight these thoughts, for what you resist persists. Instead, gently return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let the peace and satisfaction of that state wash over you, dissolving all doubts and fears. In this 1 hour, you have the power to set in motion forces that will reshape your entire existence. But understand this, the law of assumption is not a one-time event. It is a way of life, a continuous state of being. You must persist in your assumption until it hardens into fact. Think of it as planting a seed. You do not dig it up every day to check its progress. You water it, you provide the right conditions, and you trust in the natural process of growth. Similarly, once you have planted the seed of your desire in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, you must nurture it with consistent assumption and unwavering faith. Now let me address a common misconception. Some believe that this teaching encourages passivity, that by simply imagining, one need not take action in the physical world. Nothing could be further from the truth. Action will follow naturally from your changed consciousness, but it will be inspired action led by an inner knowing rather than the frantic doing that stems from a sense of lack or fear. As you assume the state your wish fulfilled, you will find that opportunities present themselves, doors open that were previously closed, and synchronicities occur that seem almost miraculous. This is the law in action, rearranging the circumstances of your life to match your inner assumption. But remember, the outer world may not change instantly. There is often a time lag between your inner assumption and its outer manifestation. This is what I call the interval of time. During this period, you must hold fast to your assumption, regardless of appearances. This is where many falter. They assume the state of their desire, But when they do not see immediate results, they revert to their old patterns of thinking. But I tell you, the law is infallible. What you persist in assuming must manifest. It is not a question of if, but when. In this transformative hour, I urge you to be bold in your imagining. Do not limit yourself based on what seems probable or possible, according to your current circumstances. Remember, you are not bound by your past or by the opinions of others. You are bound only by your own assumptions. Dare to assume greatness for yourself. Dare to imagine a life so wonderful, so fulfilling, that it takes your breath away. For you are not a mere mortal struggling in a world of chance and circumstance. You are a divine being endowed with the creative power of the universe itself. As we near the end of this crucial hour, I want you to understand the profound responsibility that comes with this knowledge. For if your imagination creates reality, then you are the author of your life story. Every experience, every relationship, every circumstance in your world is a reflection of your inner assumptions. This may seem a heavy burden at first, but in truth it is the key to your liberation. For if you have created your current reality through your assumptions, then you have the power to create anew. You are not a victim of circumstances, but the master of your fate. In the remaining minutes of this hour, I invite you to make a decision. Will you continue to live at the mercy of your habitual thinking, accepting whatever life seems to hand you? Or will you take up the mantle of your divine creativity and consciously shape your world through the power of assumption? The choice is yours and the time is now. Do not postpone your good, waiting for some future moment when conditions seem more favorable. The only moment of creation is the eternal now. In this very instant, you can assume a new state of consciousness that will transform your entire existence. As we conclude this transformative hour, I want to leave you with a final thought. The practice I have shared with you today is not a mere technique or a clever psychological trick. It is the very essence of creation, the modus operandi of the universe itself. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are aligning yourself with the creative power that brings worlds into being. You are claiming your birthright as a co-creator with the divine. This is not arrogance or hubris. It is the recognition of your true nature. So go forth from this hour with a new understanding of your own power. Let every thought, every feeling, every inner conversation be a conscious act of creation. Assume the best for yourself and for others. For as you lift yourself to higher levels of consciousness, you lift the entire world with you. Remember, the law is absolute. What you assume, you become. There are no limitations to what you can be, do, or have, except those you accept in your own imagination. So dream big, assume boldly, and watch as the universe moves to fulfill your desires. In closing, I remind you once again, this will work for you. Not in some distant future, not after years of struggle and effort, but right now, in this very hour. The power is within you, waiting to be acknowledged and expressed. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, and use it now. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but contribute to the transformation of the entire world. You are the light of the world. Let your light shine brightly, illuminating the path for all who seek a better way. Go now and create the life you desire. Assume the best, expect miracles, and live on the state of your wish fulfilled. The world is waiting for you to realize your divine potential. This is your moment. Seize it with both hands and never let go. For in this 1 hour, you have been given the key to unlocking the infinite potential that lies within you. Use it well, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. The power is yours. The time is now. Assume your greatness and step into the magnificent reality that awaits you. Remember, this is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. Each day, each hour, each moment is an opportunity to realign your consciousness with your desires. Be vigilant in your mental diet, feeding your mind with thoughts and images that support your assumptions. As you go about your day, carry with you the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let it infuse every action, every interaction. Speak, think, and act from the state of one who already has what they desire. This self-pretense or deception, it is the highest form of truth. For you are claiming the reality that already exists in the realm of infinite possibility. In the face of contrary evidence, stand firm in your assumption. The outer world may not yield immediately to your new state of consciousness, but yield it must, for it has no choice. It is a shadow, and you are the light that casts it. Change the light, and the shadow must change accordingly. Be patient with yourself and with the process. Rome was not built in a day, and neither is a new self-concept. There may be moments of doubt, moments when the old patterns of thinking try to reassert themselves. When this happens, gently but firmly return to your assumption. Remember, what you persist in assuming persists in manifesting. As you continue this practice, you will find that your entire perception of reality begins to shift. What once seemed impossible becomes probable, and what was probable becomes certain. You will start to see opportunities where before you saw only obstacles. You will attract people and circumstances that align with your new state of being. This is the law of attraction in action. But understand that you are not attracting things to you from the outside. Rather, you are awakening to the reality that already exists within you. The outer world is merely conforming to your inner assumptions. In this light, consider every experience in your life as a gift, a reflection of your consciousness to be embraced and, if necessary, revised. Even seeming setbacks or challenges are opportunities for growth and realignment. They are showing you where your assumptions may still need adjustment. As you master this practice, you will find that your creative power extends beyond your personal life. You have the ability to assume the best for others as well. See your loved ones as they wish to be seen. Assume the best for your community, your nation, your world. For as you lift your own consciousness, you contribute to the elevation of collective consciousness. Remember, you are not separate from the world around you. You are an integral part of it, a unique expression of the divine creative power. As you assume states of greater harmony, abundance, and love for yourself, you make these states more accessible to all. In this 1 hour, you have been given a tool of immense power. Use it responsibly, use it lovingly, and use it consistently. The results may not always be immediate, but they are inevitable, for you are working with the very substance of creation itself. As we come to the close of this transformative hour, I urge you to take a moment to reflect on what you have learned. Feel the enormity of the power that resides within you. Embrace the responsibility that comes with this knowledge. And most importantly, put it into practice immediately. Do not wait for the perfect moment or the ideal circumstances. The perfect moment is now, and the ideal circumstance is your current awareness of your creative power. Begin now to assume the state of your wish fulfilled. Feel the reality of it. Live from that state, and watch as your world transforms around you. Remember, this practice is not about forcing or manipulating external reality. It is about aligning your consciousness with the truth of your being. As you do so, you will find that life begins to flow with greater ease and grace. Synchronicities will abound, and what once seemed like obstacles reveal themselves as stepping stones to your desired reality. In the days and weeks to come, be vigilant in your practice. Guard your mind against negative assumptions and limiting beliefs. Cultivate a mental atmosphere of expectancy and wonder. Look for evidence of your assumption manifesting in your world and give thanks for it even before it appears in physical form. For gratitude is a powerful amplifier of your creative energy. When you give thanks for your desire as if it were already fulfilled, you align yourself even more powerfully with its manifestation. Gratitude puts you in a state of receptivity, opening you to the good that is already yours. As you go forth from this hour, know that you carry within you the power to reshape your entire existence. You are not a helpless victim of circumstance, but a divine creator, molding the substance of the universe with your assumptions and beliefs. Use this power wisely. Use it to create a life of joy, abundance, and fulfillment, not only for yourself, but for all those whose lives you touch. For as you elevate your own consciousness, you elevate the consciousness of the entire world. In closing, I remind you once again, this will work for you. It is working for you right now, in this very moment. Your assumption of the state of your wish fulfilled is already in motion, already reshaping the circumstances of your life to match your inner vision. Trust in this process. Have faith in your own divine nature. And above all, persist in your assumption. For what you persist in assuming must inevitably manifest in your world. Go now and create the life you desire. The power is yours. The time is now. Assume your greatness and step into the magnificent reality that awaits you. For in this 1 hour, you have been given the key to unlocking the infinite potential that lies within you. Use it well and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. The power is yours. The time is now. Assume your greatness and step into the magnificent reality that awaits you. This is your moment. Seize it with both hands and never let go. For you are the author of your life story, the creator of your reality. Write a story of greatness, of love, of abundance. Assume the best for yourself and for all of humanity. And as you do, know that you are fulfilling your divine purpose, expressing the infinite. This is the promise and the potential of this one transformative hour. The seeds have been planted. Nurture them with your unwavering assumption. Water them with your faith. And watch as they blossom into the magnificent reality of your choosing. The power is yours. The time is now. Go forth and create miracles. Many of you may believe that your thoughts alone shape your reality. But I tell you now, it is your feelings that breathe life into your thoughts and make them potent. Feelings are the language of the subconscious mind, and it is the subconscious that holds the key to manifestation. When you feel a thing to be true, when you embody the emotion of your desire fulfilled, you are impressing that reality upon your subconscious mind. And the subconscious, being the faithful servant it is, will work tirelessly to bring about circumstances that match this feeling. This is the crux of our discussion today, the very heart of the creative process. Consider for a moment, have you ever noticed how easily you manifest things you deeply fear? This is because fear is a powerful feeling, and what you fear, you create. The same principle applies to your desires. When you can feel the reality of your desire with the same intensity as you feel your fears, manifestation becomes inevitable. But how do we cultivate this feeling? This is where visualization comes into play. Visualization is not mere daydreaming or wishful thinking. It is a deliberate, conscious act of creation. When you visualize, you are creating a scene in your mind that implies the fulfillment of your desire. This scene, when imbued with feeling, becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. To visualize effectively, you must engage all your senses. See the scene clearly in your mind's eye. Hear the sounds associated with it. Feel the textures, smell the scents, taste if applicable. Make it as vivid and as real as possible. But remember, the visual aspect is just the beginning. The real power lies in the feeling. As you visualize, immerse yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. If your desires for wealth, feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with financial abundance. If it's a loving relationship you seek, feel the love, the companionship, the deep connection. Whatever your desire, feel it as if it were already yours. This feeling must be so real, so intense, that when you open your eyes and return to your present circumstances, you carry with you a sense of satisfaction, as if your desire has already been fulfilled. This is what it means to live in the end, to dwell emotionally in the state of your wish fulfilled. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can I feel something that isn't yet true? And to this I say, your imagination is the bridge between your current reality and your desired state. It is through your imagination that you can step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even before it manifests in the physics. Your imagination is not a flight of fancy or a frivolous faculty. It is the very workshop wherein you fashion your future. When you imagine, you are experiencing reality at its most fundamental level. You are engaging with the pure potential of consciousness, shaping it with your attention and your assumption. To use your imagination effectively, you must first quiet your conscious mind. The chattering of your daily thoughts, your worries, your doubts, these must be silenced. Enter a state of relaxation, a state akin to sleep, but in which you remain consciously aware. In this state, your subconscious mind becomes more receptive to impression. Once in this relaxed state, construct your scene. This scene should be one that implies the fulfillment of your desire. If your desire is for a successful career, you might imagine yourself in your ideal office or receiving congratulations from colleagues. If it's health you seek, imagine yourself engaging in activities that only a healthy person could do. The scene itself should be short and simple. It's not about creating an elaborate story, but about capturing a moment that implies your desire is now a fact. This scene is your platform, the stage upon which you will enact the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Now step into this scene. Don't watch it as a spectator, but experience it from the first-person perspective. Be there in that moment. And as you experience it, let the feeling of fulfillment wash over you. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the satisfaction of having your desire realized. This is where many falter. They can see the scene clearly, but they fail to evoke the feeling. Remember, it is the feeling that gives life to your imaginal act. Without feeling, visualization is merely a mental exercise. With feeling, it becomes an act of creation. As you practice this, you may find that the feeling comes more easily with repetition. Each time you return to your scene, the feeling becomes more vivid, more real. This is good. You are strengthening the impression upon your subconscious mind. But here's a crucial point. Once you have evoked the feeling, once you have impressed it upon your subconscious, you must carry it with you into your waking life. This is where many stumble. They do their visualization exercise, they feel it intensely in the moment, but then they return to their daily life and fall back into old patterns of thought and feeling. To manifest your desire, you must maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even in the face of contradictory evidence. This is where faith comes in. Not blind faith, but faith born of understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state. When you truly grasp this, you will no longer be swayed by appearances. You will know that what you see around you is the effect, not the cause. The cause lies in your consciousness, in your feeling. And as you persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your outer world must reshape itself to match this inner conviction. Now let us address a common challenge in this practice, the apparent contradictions of your senses. As you begin to live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you may find that your current circumstances seem to contradict your assumption. Bills may still need to be paid. Problems may still arise. How do you maintain your feeling in the face of these seeming contradictions? This is where the art of ignoring comes into play. To ignore is not to deny the existence of something, but to refrain from giving it your attention and energy. When contradictory evidence appears, acknowledge it briefly, then immediately return your attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Remember, what you see in your outer world is the result of past assumptions, past feelings. It is like an echo of what you once believed. Your task now is to give more attention, more importance, more reality to your new assumption than to these outdated circumstances. This practice requires mental discipline. It requires you to stand firm in your new assumption, even when your senses argue against it. But remember, your senses only show you what has been, not what can be. Your imagination, informed by your feeling, shows you what will be. As you persist in maintaining the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even in the face of contradictory evidence, you will begin to see changes in your outer world. These changes may start small, a fortunate coincidence, an unexpected opportunity, a shift in someone's behavior towards you. Do not dismiss these as mere chance. They are the first fruits of your new assumption taking root. Now, let us deeper into the nature of feeling. When I speak of feeling, I am not referring merely to emotions, though emotions play a part. I am speaking of a deeper sense, a knowing, unshakable conviction. It is the difference between saying I want to be wealthy and knowing in the very core of your being, I am wealthy. This feeling conviction is not something you can fake or force. It arises naturally when you have successfully impressed your desire upon your subconscious mind. This is why the repeated use of your imagination is so crucial. Each time you return to your imaginal scene, each time you step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are deepening this impression. Think of it like wearing a groove in a record. The first time you play the record, the needle may skip and jump, but with repeated plays, the groove deepens and the music plays smoothly. Similarly, as you repeat your imaginal act, the feeling becomes more natural, more habitual. It becomes your dominant state. This is the state from which creation occurs. When you can maintain this feeling conviction throughout your day, when it becomes as natural as breathing, you have mastered the art of conscious creation. Your outer world has no choice but to conform to this inner state. But what are those moments when doubt creeps in, when fear arises, when the old patterns of thought and feeling try to reassert themselves? These moments are inevitable, especially in the beginning of your practice. Do not be discouraged by them. Instead, see them as opportunities to strengthen your new assumption. When doubt arises, do not fight it. Fighting against a thought only gives it more power. Instead, gently but firmly return to your feeling of wish fulfilled. Remind yourself that what you see around you is the past. Your new assumption, your new feeling is creating your future. This brings us to another crucial aspect of using your imagination effectively, the concept of revision. Revision is not merely about changing your memories or rewriting your past. It is about recognizing that the past only exists in your mind and therefore it can be changed in your mind. At the end of each day, take a few moments to review the events of your day. If there were any events that were not to your liking, revise them in your imagination. See them unfolding in a way that aligns with your desired state. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the fulfillment of this revised version of events. By doing this, you are not denying what physically happened. You are changing the impact of that event on your subconscious mind. You are impressing upon your subconscious a reality that aligns with your desires rather than one that contradicts them. As you make this practice of revision a habit, you will find that your reactions to current events begin to change. You'll become less reactive, more peaceful, more aligned with your desired states of being. This is because you are literally rewriting the programs in your subconscious mind that govern your responses to life events. Now let us address the role of action in this process of conscious creation. Some people mistakenly believe that using their imagination means they can simply visualize their desires and then sit back and wait for them to magically appear. This is not the case. The use of imagination does not negate action. It informs action. When you successfully impress your desire upon your subconscious mind, when you truly feel your wish fulfilled, you will be inspired to take actions that align with this state. These actions will feel natural, even inevitable. They will not be driven by fear or lack, but will flow from your assumed state of fulfillment. This is a crucial distinction. When you take action from a place of lack, trying to get what you desire, you are actually affirming the assumption of not having it. But when you take action from the assumption of already having your desire fulfilled, you open yourself to infinite possibilities for its expression and expansion. So do not neglect action, but ensure that your actions are aligned with and flowing from your assumed state. Let your feeling guide your actions rather than hoping your actions will create the feeling. Now, let us explore the concept of persistence in relation to feeling and imagination. Persistence is not about forcing or struggling. It's about maintaining your assumption, your feeling of wish fulfilled, even when the outer world seems to contradict it. This persistence requires faith, not blind faith, but faith born of understanding. Understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state, and that as you persist in your new assumption, your world must reshape itself to match it. Think of yourself as an actor playing a role. When an actor takes on a role, they don't just memorize lines. They embody the character. They think as the character would think, feel as the character would feel, act as the character would act. This is what you must do with your desired state. Persistent thinking, feeling, and acting from the state of your wish fulfilled. Do this not with strain or effort, but with the natural ease of one who knows that this is their true state of being. As you persist in this practice, you may find that your outer world doesn't change immediately. This is where many people give up. They try it for a few days or weeks, don't see results, and conclude that it doesn't work. But remember, you are overturning a lifetime of habitual thinking and feeling. Give it time. The changes may start small. A shift in your own attitude, a new opportunity, a fortunate coincidence. Acknowledge these changes, no matter how small. They are signs that your new assumption is taking root. Now let us delve deeper into the art of visualization. Visualization is not just about seeing images in your mind. It's about engaging all your senses to create a vivid, multi-dimensional experience in your imagination. When you visualize your desire fulfilled, see it clearly. What does it look like? Notice the colors, the shapes, the details, but don't stop there. What sounds are associated with this scene? What do you hear? If it's a scene of success, perhaps you hear congratulations or applause. If it's a scene of relaxation, perhaps you hear the gentle sound of waves or birds singing. What do you feel physically? If your desire is for a new home, feel the texture of the doorknob as you open the front door. Feel the plush carpet under your feet or the smooth hardwood floors. If your desire is for health, feel the strength in your body, the ease of movement, the vitality coursing through you. What smells are present in your scene? The fresh scent of a new car, the aroma of a gourmet meal, the clean, crisp smell of a new office. Engage your sense of smell in your visual element. And if applicable, what tastes are involved? If your scene involves a celebration, taste the champagne. If it's a scene of health, taste the freshness of pure, clean water. The more senses you engage in your visualization, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind. And remember, to your subconscious, there is no difference between a vividly imagined experience and a physical one. But here's the key. As you engage in this multisensory visualization, allow the feeling of what wish fulfilled to permeate your entire being. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude of having your desire realized. This feeling is what gives life to your visualization. Now, let's address a common question. How often should one practice visualization? The answer is, as often as you can maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Quality is more important than quantity here. A few minutes of vivid, feeling-filled visualization are far more powerful than hours and hours of hearted mental pictures. Many find it helpful to practice visualization upon waking and before sleep. These are times when your subconscious mind is particularly receptive. But you can also engage in brief visualizations throughout your day. Whenever you have a quiet moment, close your eyes and step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Remember, the goal is not just to create pretty pictures in your mind. The goal is to impress upon your subconscious mind the reality of your desire fulfilled. And this is done through feeling. Now let us explore another powerful tool in using your imagination effectively. The use of I remember when statements. This technique involves speaking or thinking about your desire as if it were a past event, something you're reminiscing about. For example, if your desire is for a successful business, you might say to yourself, I remember when I was just starting out, struggling to make ends meet. Look at how far I've come now with a thriving business and financial security. By framing your desire as a memory, you bypass the logical mind's objections. It's easier for your subconscious to accept something as a past event than as a future possibility. Plus, when you remember something, you naturally evoke the feelings associated with it. Use this technique in your daily life. Engage in imaginary conversations where you and a friend are discussing your success as if it has already happened. Feel the pride, the satisfaction, the gratitude as you remember how far you've come. This practice, combined with your visualization feeling work, creates a powerful impression on your subconscious mind. It reinforces the assumption that your desire is not just possible, but has already been realized. Now let us address a crucial point in the use of imagination, the importance of first-person perspective. When you visualize, when you imagine your desire fulfilled, it's essential that you experience it from your own point of view, not as an observer watching yourself. Many people make the mistake of seeing themselves in their imaginal scene, as if watching a movie of themselves. But this creates a sense of separation, a feeling that this is happening to someone else, not to you. Instead, see through your own eyes. Feel what you would feel in that moment. Experience the scene as if you are there right now living it. This first-person perspective is crucial in creating the feeling of your wish fulfilled. For instance, if your desire is for a new car, don't see yourself driving the car. Be in the driver's seat. Feel the steering wheel under your hands. See the road ahead through the windshield. Hear the purr of the engine. Smell that new car scent. Experience it fully from your own perspective. This first-person perspective helps to create a sense of immediacy and reality in your imaginal scene. It makes it easier for your subconscious mind to accept this scene as your current reality. Now, let's discuss the role of repetition in using your imagination effectively. Repetition is crucial in impressing your desire upon your subconscious mind. But this doesn't mean mechanically repeating the same visualization over and over. Each time you return to your imaginal scene, approach it with fresh eyes and renewed feeling. Explore different aspects of it. Notice new details. Allow the feeling of fulfillment to deepen with each repetition. Think of it like visiting a favorite place. Each time you go, you might notice something new. A detail you hadn't seen before. A new perspective on a familiar view. Yet the essential feeling of that place remains the same. This is how you should approach your imaginal scene. The goal of repetition is not to memorize a scene, but to deepen the feeling of your wish fulfilled. With each repetition, you are wearing a deeper groove in your consciousness, making this new state feel more natural, more you. Now, let us address a common pitfall in the use of imagination, the temptation to visualize the process rather than the end result. Many people, when trying to manifest a desire, focus on how it might come about. They imagine the steps that might lead to their goal. But this is a mistake. Your job is not to figure out how your desire will be realized. That is the job of the universal consciousness, which has infinite ways to bring about your desire. Your job is simply to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Focus on the end result. Imagine and feel the state of having your desire realized, not the process of getting there. When you focus on the process, you often introduce doubts and limitations. You may not be able to imagine how your desire could possibly come about, and this doubt undermines your assumption. Remember, the power is in the feeling of the end result. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and let the infinite intelligence of the universe take care of the how. Let us now explore the concept of living from the end. This goes beyond mere visualization or periodic imaginal acts. Living from the end means carrying the feeling of your wish fulfilled into your daily life, allowing it to inform your thoughts, words, and actions. When you live from the end, you don't just visualize your desire for a few minutes each day. You embody the person who has already achieved that desire. You think as that person would think, feel as they would feel, act as they would act. This requires a shift in your entire way of being. It's not about pretending or play acting. It's about genuinely assuming a new state of consciousness. When you do this effectively, you'll find that your actions naturally align with your assumed state. For example, if your desire is for financial abundance, living from the end means feeling the security, freedom, and generosity that come with wealth. It means making decisions from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. It means carrying yourself with the confidence of someone who is financially secure. This practice of living from the end can be challenging at first. Your current circumstances may seem to contradict your assumed state. This is where persistence and faith come in. You must persist in your new assumption, even when your senses deny it. Remember, your senses only show you the effects of past assumptions. As you persist in your new assumption, as you consistently from the end, your outer world must gradually reshape itself to match your inner conviction. Now, let us address the role of detachment in the effective use of imagination. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care about your desire. Rather, it means you're not anxiously attached to seeing immediate results or figuring out how your desire will manifest. When you're detached, you can imagine and feel your desire fulfilled without constantly looking for signs of its manifestation. You trust in the process, knowing that as you maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, it must inevitably express itself in your outer world. Detachment allows you to live in the present moment while holding your assumed state. It frees you from the anxiety and doubt that can undermine your creative work. It allows you to enjoy the money of manifestation rather than being solely focused on the destination. Practice detachment by reminding yourself that your imaginal act, imbued with feeling, is the reality. What you see in the outer world is just a shadow, a reflection of past assumptions. As you persist in your new assumption, this shadow must change to match the new reality you're imagining and feeling. Now, let us explore the concept of revision as it relates to the use of imagination. Revision is a powerful technique that allows you to rewrite your past, and in doing so, change your present and future. The principle behind revision is simple. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between real and imagined events. By vividly reimagining past events in a way that aligns with your desires, you can change the impact these events have on your subconscious mind. For example, if you had a difficult conversation with someone, you can revise it in your imagination. See the conversation going smoothly, feel the mutual understanding and respect. Imagine the positive outcome you desired. By doing this, you're not denying what physically happened. You're changing the emotional impact of the event. You're impressing upon your subconscious mind a reality that aligns with your desires rather than one that contradicts them. Revision can be applied to any past event, no matter how long ago it occurred. You can revise childhood experiences, past relationships, career setbacks, anything that you feel is holding you back from fully embodying your desired state. As you practice revision, you may find that your reactions to current events begin to change. You will become less reactive, more peaceful, more aligned with your desired states of being. This is because you're literally rewriting the programs in your subconscious mind that govern your responses to life events. Now, let us address the importance of your concept in the effective use of imagination. Your self-concept, the beliefs you hold about who you are, is perhaps the most powerful factor in determining what you can manifest in your life. Many people struggle to manifest their desires because their self-concept contradicts what they're trying to achieve. They may visualize wealth, but deep down, they don't believe they're the kind of person who can be wealthy. They may imagine a loving relationship, but fundamentally believe they're unworthy of love. To truly harness the power of your imagination, you must be willing to revise your self-concept. This involves imagining and feeling yourself as the person who already has what you desire. It's not about creating a false image of yourself, but about recognizing and embracing your true, limitless nature. Remember, at your core, you are pure consciousness. You are not defined by your past experiences, your current circumstances, or the opinions of others. You are the awareness in which all these things appear. And this awareness, your true self, is infinite in its potential. As you use your imagination to assume your desired states, You are essentially recreating yourself. You are stepping into a new concept of self, a new understanding of who you are and what's possible for you. This revision of self-concept is not always easy. It may challenge long-held beliefs about yourself and your place in the world. But it is essential if you want to create lasting change in your life. Now let us explore the role of emotion in the effective use of imagination. Emotion is the fuel that powers your imaginal acts. It's not enough to merely visualize or think about your desires. You must feel them. When you combine vivid imagination with genuine emotion, you create a powerful impression on your subconscious mind. This is because your subconscious responds more strongly to feeling than to intellectual thought. The emotions you want to cultivate are those you would feel if your desire were already realized. If your desire is for wealth, feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with financial abundance. If it's a loving relationship you seek, feel the love, the connection, the companionship. These emotions should be so real, so intense, that when you open your eyes and return to your present circumstances, you carry with you a sense of fulfillment, as if your desire has already been realized. This emotional component is what distinguishes effective use of imagination from mere daydreaming or wishful thinking. When you can genuinely feel your desire as an accomplished fact, you are impressing it upon your subconscious mind as a reality. Now, let us address the concept of persistence in the use of imagination. Persistence means forcing or struggling. It means consistently returning to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even when outer circumstances seem to contradict it. This persistence requires faith, not blind faith, but faith born of understanding. Understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state, and that as you persist in your new assumption, your world must reshape itself to match it. Persistence also involves patience. Remember, you are overturning a lifetime of habitual thinking and feeling. This doesn't happen overnight. Give your new assumptions time to take root and bear fruit. As you persist in your imaginal acts, you may face doubts, fears, or contradictory evidence in your outer world. See these as opportunities to strengthen your faith, to deepen your commitment to your assumed state. Now let us explore the concept of letting go in the manifestation process. This might seem contradictory to what we've discussed about persistence, but it's actually complementary. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on your desire. It means releasing the anxiety, the need to control, the constant checking for results. It means trusting that once you've impressed your desire upon your subconscious mind through feeling and imagination, the manifestation process is set in motion. When you truly let go, you enter a state of allowing. You're no longer trying to make things happen. You're opening yourself to receive what you've already created in your imagination. This state of allowing is crucial because it aligns you with the natural flow of manifestation. It removes the resistance that can block or delay the realization of your desires. Letting go also involves surrendering the how of your manifestation. Your job is to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. The manner in which it will come about is not your concern. Trust in the infinite intelligence of the universe to bring about your desire in ways that may surpass your limited understanding. As we near the conclusion of our exploration, let us reflect on the ultimate purpose of this practice. The use of imagination, the cultivation of feeling, the art of visualization. These are not merely techniques for acquiring material possessions or achieving worldly success. While they can certainly be used for these purposes, their true power lies in the transformation of consciousness they facilitate. As you master the art of feeling your wish fulfilled, as you learn to live from the state of your desire realized, you are essentially recreating yourself. You are stepping into a new concept of self, a new understanding of your relationship to the world around you. This practice reveals to you your true nature as a creative being. It shows you that you are not a victim of circumstances, but the author of your life story. It demonstrates that the power to shape your reality lies within you, in your capacity to imagine and to feel. Moreover, as you persist in this practice, you may find that your desires themselves begin to change. As you experience the fulfillment of your initial desires, as you grow in your understanding of your creative power, you may find yourself drawn to higher aspirations. You may feel called to use your creative ability not just for personal gain, but for the betterment of all. This is the true gift of mastering the art of conscious creation, the ability to shape not just your individual life, but to contribute to the shaping of the world around you. For as you change your own consciousness, you inevitably affect the collective consciousness of humanity. In closing, my dear friends, remember this: feeling is indeed the secret. Your ability to feel the reality of your desire, to live from the state of your wish fulfilled, is the key to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within you. Visualization is the tool by which you construct the platform for this feeling. And your imagination is the workshop in which you fashion your future. Go forth from here with this knowledge. Apply these principles in your daily life. Be aware of your feelings, for they are shaping your reality in every moment. Use your imagination consciously and deliberately to create scenes that imply the fulfillment of your desires. Visualize with all the power of your senses, but above all, feel the reality of your wish fulfilled. And remember, persistence is key. The world you see around you is the result of habitual feelings and assumptions. As you persist in your new feeling, as you consistently live from the state of your wish fulfilled, your world must reshape itself to match this new inner conviction. You have within you the power to create the life you desire. You are limited only by your ability to imagine and to feel the reality of your wishes fulfilled. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding. And watch as your world transforms around you, reflecting the newfound mastery of your creative consciousness. Thank you. And may your journey of conscious creation be filled with joy, wonder, and the thrill of manifesting your deepest desires.